Hi, Mark Anthony here. I'm with Melody Prettyman, and we're talking all about sugar. And good to see you. Good to see you.
Sweet.
Yeah, sugar.
Oh, we all love sugar.
Yeah, I call it the American sugar fix.
What is that?
Because that's like their new drug.
A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah. I actually use that in my shows because I'll talk about the blood and the pus and the milk and the manure and things like that, you know.
It's there.
But I do it with fun. I just kind of, I have laughs and have a lot of excitement in my cooking shows. So it's a spoonful of sugar helping the medicine go down. Maybe I should do a spoonful of applesauce or something like that instead of sugar.
A lot of people don't realize what applesauce does in a recipe. And do you have anybody ever ask you, well, what's a good sweetener to use? And they'll talk about agave nectar.
Yeah.
They'll talk about honey, stevia, some of these
horrible. That's a substitute, the stevia.
Stevia is, but it's an herb.
Mm-hmm.
It's an herb.
Right.
What I don't like is when they're using, what are those little blue packets? I can't even, it's been so long.
Yeah, all the sweetener substitutes.
All the those things are deadly.
Most of the sugars, though, when you look at some of these sugar, cornstarch, agave nectar, corn syrup, agave nectar, beet sugar, dextrose, fructose, sucrose. There's over 50 different names for refined and processed sugar now.
Now the beets that you were talking about, I read an article, we was in Washington last year, where they're trying to ban the beets grown with GMO. They're genetically modified in this country. Mm-hmm. And the farmers are throwing a fit because they don't have the products in order to farm regular like they used to, because it's such a, they can produce more with the GMO.
Well, I don't think the farmers should be throwing a fit. Right here I have got the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, Farm Bill Forum, and what they're paying right now, domestic grown sugar cane gets paid 18 cents per pound. This is what the government pays the farmers for every pound of sugar that's produced on the market. Domestic grown sugar beets is at 22.9 cents per pound.
Wow.
So if you have a sugar beet company, you make 22.9 cents for every single pound of sugar you produce off that thing from the government.
And those things
so here's one of the worst products that you could ever consume, sugar. It's killing so many people with diabetes and obesities, and the government is paying for them to produce it.
Mark,
that's what's happening out there.
When you walk into the store, I was in a grocery store once, and my husband and I love to go into the aisles, and we don't mind waiting because I like to see what they've got in their carts. and I was at a grocery store, and a man was there with his 2 children. He had 2 boxes of chocolate Cocoa Puffs. What do you think the #1 ingredient is going to be in?
Sugar.
Sugar.
Didn't you do an experiment with your husband or something? What was this about?
I did an experiment with him. Well, I just noticed I'm not a TV watcher, and my husband was watching television, and I just kept noticing these trips back and forth at night, thinking, what in the world is going on? And I realized that every time he would be triggered by a commercial, he would head to the kitchen, cookies, whatever he could find. And so I just asked him, I said, hey, honey, I want to ask you a question. Would you help me? I need to do something for my seminars. He said, well, it depends. So I told him, I said, 3 days, all the TV you want to watch. I don't care how much you watch whatever. But 3 days.
I bet he loved that.
Yeah. And I said, and you can start first watching the TV, but I need 3 days with no TV.
Whatsoever.
None. He said, okay, I'll do it. And the first night, I sat there in the living room, and every time he made a walk through the kitchen, I would make a check mark in the time, because I had it all ready for him. And every time he'd come through, I kind of see what he had, but I wasn't writing it down. The next night, I went into the TV room, and I said, hey, I think I'll sit here tonight and watch a little TV with you. And he said, really? You never watch TV? And I said, yeah, I'm going to join you tonight. And I had my computer. I said, I'll do a little work while we're doing this. I had my computer because I was monitoring everything he was doing. So whenever a commercial come on, I looked, and up he'd go. It was just like,
clockwork.
Yeah, like one of those little puppets, Into the kitchen you go, come back. I started writing down everything he ate. And I thought, man, this is a pattern. It was the commercials.
Right.
He went, the second night, Mark, there was a commercial for Subway. He drove all the way into Mount Vernon, 14 miles to get a Subway sandwich, come back, complain it didn't look like the commercial. So, third night, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to him. I realized what was going on. Fourth night, he came into the living room, and he sat down, he started reading, of all things, Proof Positive, Dr. Neil Medley's. He never made a trip to the kitchen.
Wow.
Mark, he never made one trip to the
Wow.
kitchen. Then I exposed what was going on. He could not believe he ate the food he ate.
Yeah.
He was hypnotized.
Yeah.
He had no idea.
So
he ate
some
what
of
he
this
ate.
television that we're watching and is
The billions.
triggering the trips to consume
yes.
more calories and.
Oh, I mean,
but that
do it
doesn't happen.
yourself.
That doesn't happen when you watch 3ABN. See,
Different
because
type
we
of
don't
TV.
have commercials coming in every
Not
5
only
minutes
that, it's
on
not
the television
flickering.
show. Right.
It's a different type of television.
So,
oh,
so
I
keep
watch
tuning
3ABN.
in to 3ABN. That's right.
Oh, always, always. It's the only TV to watch.
Yeah.
Actually, we have 3ABN in our home, and when I sit down, that's it. I watch 3ABN. There's not another station.
Amen.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so, and sugar's just got so many different problems that we have with it. I mean,
Tooth
not just the
decay?
government,
Obesity?
paying for, for us to get sick. I mean, they're literally paying for us to get sick.
When you go to the store, you go into town, out of maybe 100 people, 200 people, how many of them are overweight or obese?
I could tell you.
Yes.
Millions. I think it's 2 out of every 3 people in America right now. Yeah.
And a lot of them are grossly obese.
Yeah.
It's sad when we go to the grocery store and we have to rely on carts to get us down the aisles. Some people have to actually ride those carts.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't see very few times do you ever see somebody that's underweight on one.
No. True. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back with some really in-depth studies about sugar.
I have a feeling you're right about 9 minutes, 8, 9 minutes.
6:51.
Yeah, we hadn't gone very long.
I'm compensating for the last one, right?
Okay.